It's any parent's worst nightmare.
Her son, a UC Davis student, died after getting a tattoo. Now, the state of California requires 1,500 hours of training before someone can legally cut hair.
But a Kurtis investigation reveals the state only requires 2 hours for tattoos.
And that 2 hours of training wasn't even required until a new law went into effect this summer. Tonight, the family of the UC Davis student says it just doesn't go far enough.
Eric was very friendly, very funny.
Larger than life, Eric Racheski was the type of guy who would help out a bullied kid and then manage to make him laugh.
He was a lucky kid in the sense that he was very happy.
But after getting a tattoo in 2003, the UC Davis Jr. died. His mom, Nancy, forced to bury a 21-year-old child.
To this day, I just can't believe that Eric is gone because he was so full of life.
With a heart of gold, despite being born with a hole in his heart called a heart murmur. He got an infection after getting the tattoo, and that infection attacked his vulnerable heart.
Do you think it was the tattoo that ultimately led to his death?
Well, we just figure it has to be.
It wasn't until after losing Eric, Nancy realized tattoo artists and body piercers have no state standards for sterilization. In fact, you need 400 hours of training to do a manicure in California, 1,500 to cut hair. But the state of California required zero training for anybody to tattoo or pierce someone.
You and I could go out and give somebody a tattoo.
You and I can go and set up shop and do it out of the back of our van if we wanted to.
And Assemblywoman Fiona Moss says this is what can happen. Nasty infections and the spread of diseases like hepatitis and AIDS.
The fact that there were no standards kind of freaked me out.
She wrote a law that just went into effect in July, requiring tattoo artists have a minimum of 2 hours of bloodborne pathogen training each year to cut down on the spread of disease. They'll also have to pay a registration fee to cover the cost of random inspections. But considering how much training you need to cut hair in California, Eric Racheski's family doesn't think the law goes far enough.
It's an invasive procedures, so of course people need to be trained and they need to know what they're doing.
Fiona Ma admits her law could go further, but says it took 6 years to pass this version.
Deep breath in and out.
Even though it'll cost artist Michael Hare more than $350 a year in fees and training costs, he thinks it's good for his industry.
I don't mind paying it if it's going to shut down shops that are hurting people.
We requested inspection reports from 8 counties in our region to see what types of issues they found since the law went into effect. We found violations that could potentially spread disease, including no sharps waste mail to properly get rid of used needles, no hot water, artists who aren't up to date on bloodborne pathogen training, and a lack of protective glasses or goggles, and disposable arm protective sleeves. But we've learned in the first 4 months since the law went into effect, Placer and Yolo counties did not do one formal inspection, each saying they are still setting up their programs.
It should be a priority for these cities and counties, especially when so many people are engaging in tattoos and body piercings.
This is our last Thanksgiving together.
There's no telling if Eric would still be here if the law was in place when he got his tattoo.
It's been 9 years. Does it ever get any easier?
Nancy hopes these new regulations will spare other families the pain she lives with every day.
He's still with you every day.
He is, but it's not the same.
Both Yolo and Placer counties told us they'd start inspections this month. Some tattoo artists think this law will only drive unlicensed folks to perform tattoos in garages to avoid fees and inspections. Anybody caught breaking the rules could face a fine of up to $1,000. Now, we don't know of anybody who has been fined just yet.
So moving to hear from that mom. But now he had a heart condition that made him more susceptible to infection?
He did, and typically he would have to go on antibiotics before even going to the dentist. But he obviously didn't think to go on antibiotics before a tattoo, and there was nothing, no bulletins, no information to lead him to go in that direction. Well, after his death, Kaiser started putting out bulletins and letting people know that they should go on antibiotics if they do have heart murmurs like he had. And I got some of those links that Kaiser is referring families to. I'm going to put that on our website.
When you look at the training that's required to cut hair and so on right on down the line, and then you look at some of those gross pictures from the tattoos that went wrong, 2 hours doesn't even seem close to being enough. I mean,
Fiona Ma admits that, but she said it took years to get this passed. It kept getting vetoed when it went to the governor's desk. So she was happy to get this passed, and she thinks it's a step in the right direction. But we showed you the tame photos.
Ugh.
You just Google some of the images from tattoo and body art infections. You're going to see some pretty nasty stuff.
Okay.
Makes you
Interesting
nervous.
report, Kurtis.
All right, if you have something you want us to investigate, let us know about it. You can call our hotline Monday through Friday at 916-374-1343, or you could always go to our website, cbssacramento.com, click on Call Kurtis, and fill out our form.